In this session we are going to log on to Link Explorer and I will introduce you to the work files and database. Here you can see a simple database. We have a trainer with a class of students, an event, the training session, Xanalys and Waltham in the USA. Associations which are present in the database will not be shown here until we ask for them in the form of a query. Another way we could show the links is that we could explore the data. That is to say, here we have the students, the instructor, the event, etc. If we explore to see what links are present, then it will put the links in. I'll explain how this works as we go through the database itself. As your data gets more complicated, then your charts will have more information. Here is a more complex database, more events, and also more persons present. To produce this chart we're looking at now, we would have written a query. Queries are stored in work files. A work file is a collection of queries and chart customizations. Work files actually connect to databases. Now it's beneficial to keep our actions separate from our data. So the work file stores the information about the actions or investigations into our data and not in the data itself. A work file can automatically open a specific database. So if you have a database, you can actually set the work file to open that database when the work file is opened. You can also use any number of work files in a single database. And a work file can be disconnected and reconnected to other databases as required. That is to say that say you have recorded some queries which you can run in multiple databases, then you could actually save the work file as a work file template. The template itself would specify the classes allowed by the Link Explorer, also the attributes present in each class and the built-in queries that you actually have. Now some templates do come with Link Explorer. We will be using the training template in this class, and you will be able to see and use a different template at work. You can modify these templates and create your own very easily. Other terms that we will come across: database. Database is all the objects and their attributes, all links and their attributes. A work file. This is where we have the queries and constraints, the charts and chart customizations, data entry and text import settings. A template work file is defined classes and attributes, some of the built-in queries and charts and standard customizations. And a query is actually selected objects and links. We can put constraints on queries to make them more specific, and they can be displayed in a variety of different charts. Now we've talked about the glossary of terms and the work files, we're actually going to start Link Explorer itself. I will be working through on the screen and you can work through with me, or you can watch each part that I do following in your notes, and then we will do a small exercise at the end. To start Link Explorer, you need to identify the icon on your desktop and double click, or you can click on Start, All Programs, look through until you find Xanalys Intelligence, Link Explorer 5.2 and then Link Explorer to open the program. You will also find here some very good help files and some further help under Advanced. But we're just going to click on Link Explorer at this moment in time to open the program. Once the program opens, you will see a welcome screen here. Now the welcome screen itself appears every time you open the program unless you turn it off. If you continued here to create a new work file, it won't take you into the actual work file we need. You need to be able to select the type you want, especially if you have some new templates of your own you have created. So the best way to open this is to start using Link Explorer. And if you want to turn the welcome screen off, click on Don't Show Me the Welcome Screen again. Now should you want to put the welcome screen back on, this is quite easy. First of all, I'll take it off by clicking OK. If I want to reinstate it, all I do is click on Help, Preferences, go into the File menu, and there you can see Open Link Explorer with No Work File Previous, New Work File, Welcome Screen, etc. There are also some other preferences on here which we'll discuss at a later stage. So I'm going to leave this as No Work File and click OK. If you can do the same. From here now, to actually open Link Explorer, we can navigate to the Open button here, New Work File, or you can click on File, New Work File, and then it will take you into the New Work File menu. Now this particular menu has different work files that have been stored. Most of these will come with the product itself. However, you can create your own and they will be stored here. We have a blank. We have Investigative Intelligence. We have Training XLE 5.2. We have UK Intelligence. We have UK Operational Intelligence, UK Watson, and then down here we have Watson Investigative Intelligence. Depending on which country you bought your product, you may have other templates also present. To connect to our database, we're going to use the Training XLE 5.2. The next buttons we've got are Existing Database and New Database. If we connect to a new database, then this database will have no information present whatsoever, and all the information that will be created in there will be created by ourselves or imported by ourselves. At this particular time we are going to connect to an existing database. That is a database which already exists either on your computer or on a network, and we're going to click OK. The progress bar will start at the top, as you can see, and then we have Open Database. You can see here now that we have a number of databases within this, and also database type at the bottom says internal. These are internal databases which are stored on this computer. However, if we click on the drop down, these are other database systems we can connect to. We could connect to Access databases, Access driver databases, Excel, on this particular machine Sage, and any other database that may well be networked that we've configured Xanalys to link into. We're going to keep it at internal, and we're actually going to connect to the database called the Big Leak. So if you click on the Big Leak and click Open, you'll now see we are connected to the database itself. We can see that because if we look at the left hand side where our work file is, right at the very bottom, the Big Leak database is actually there. So this is in fact our work file here. It tells us we're connected. It's actually named the Training XLE 5.2 and it's given it as version 1. It's actually numbered this for us. So let's look at the actual work file itself. We've got the queries that we will write, which are down here on the left here. Some queries may already be present from Xanalys when you buy the product. You will also see in 5.2 now we have some example queries which have actually been written by Xanalys. All you need to do here is to add constraints to them. Then we've got data forms at the bottom, text importer settings, classes, and as I said before, the Big Leak database. You can see across the top we have the menus you would associate with Microsoft: File, Edit, View. We also have Data, Query, Chart, Analysis, Format, Tools, Window, and Help. I'll introduce the Help to you at this stage. If you double click, or single click I should say, Help and Help Topics, you'll see in here a very good help file provided by Xanalys. Anything you need to know to use this program is in here. One of the things I will show you though is getting started. click on the plus next to getting started, click on the plus next to user assistance, and in here you can find links through to online help. Now on Xanalys you have PDF files. If you remember, I showed you where they were located when we first logged on through your program files. These PDF files are exactly the same as what's online. Also, if you look further down, you'll be able to see using online resources. You can access the Xanalys homepage. If you click on that, and it takes you to the link for the homepage. Or if you want to actually access Xanalys support, you need to go back to the help file itself. It says that on here. Click on help and web support. So the way we would get back to that is we would X out, click on help, and then web support. Now web support will open the browser and you need to be connected to the internet to get through there. I'll just go back into the help topics just for a second. When we're back in the help file, you can now see, as I said before, we can type in words here. So if I type in there now import, you could actually see as I typed the box itself go with the spelling. So I've got import dialog, import service, import settings, all the imports that go here. If I continue to type to importing, watch how it changes. So now we're down to the actual importing. Now if I pressed enter or display, it would say what do you want to know about importing? Importing data or importing objects. So I could just click importing data and display, and then it would tell me about data importing, and I could work through that with the arrows. You can do single word searches also, or as I said before, work through the contents. If you do get stuck using the program, this is the place to go. So I'll close the help down for now. Now then, with the help closed, you can see back across here on the left hand side we've got our work file. A couple of little bits about the work file I'm going to tell you now. The queries that we write will be entered here under my queries. We can name the queries and it will store them in alphabetical order. You will see here in brackets there's a question mark. What that means is the objects returned when we do a query, the number of objects found, we'll put it here where the question mark is. I'll show you on events. Here are two queries that have been written under the title of events. I'll double click on the link chart one. Now you can see that the question mark in events has populated to 7, saying there are 7 events that's been brought back, and we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are events that's been asked for in a query. Now then, the window we've got here we can move around, just like in Microsoft. We can dock the window by maximizing it. The buttons we can now see on the top here: new work file, open work file, save work file, open database, print. There are some more buttons in between, as you would find in Windows-based programs, when we can move back and forward, cut, copy and paste. We'll be using these later on. The next button we need to worry about is a zoom in button. Each time I press this button, the program will zoom in 25%, like this. And then to zoom out, again by pressing the zoom out button, each time I press it, it will go out 25%. Here we are back at 100%.